Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, we have Barbara Moore, my co-host here. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Woo-hoo!
Now, our guest today is a friend of Barbara. What I'm going to go ahead and say is that the company that you work with is called the Dynamic Duo Dog Rescue, and I can tell from the barking dog as well in the background that that's what you do. We were,
my house is a friggin' bark fest. Oh my gosh! Sometimes I'm like, just be quiet for 5 minutes.
Nothing's louder than these birds that I have here chirping away sometimes.
I know. Well, I have peacocks too, so you're used to them from the mansion, and they're loud. They're the best watchdogs. The FedEx guy comes, the propane guy comes, and they start calling and screaming. It's pretty funny, and then the dogs are barking. So yeah, it's pretty noisy around here.
Yeah, and birds are smart, aren't they?
They really are. If you
they
come
really
in,
are.
They know my car, but if a strange car pulls up, they start calling because they tell everybody that it's a stranger, like stranger danger. It's pretty funny. So they're
That's
good
so
watch
sweet.
I know. I
so
love
we
my
want to tell. Yes, and then they spread those beautiful feathers, and I mean they can be quite intimidating.
Yes. Well, I have some that are super friendly. They come up and they're not aggressive at all. So you got to come up with your dog sometime. If you ever come to Northern California, let me know, and you got to come stop by.
That's what we were just saying. I have told my 13-year-old daughter about your place and all the animals that you have, and she got so excited to come. So when the coronavirus dies down.
She's absolutely gorgeous, your daughter. Gorgeous like Mom. How could she not be?
Well, where is Priscilla?
Priscilla's great, and she's in her room being quiet because she knows the show is so important. But I wanted just to see. Yeah. Oh, she's such a good girl.
We can bring her on. You want to bring her on, Barbara?
Maybe in a second, but I just wanted to let the audience know what's going on today.
It's just an idea. I don't want to.
Great idea.
I don't want to.
Okay. Can we just tell the audience what's going on here today? Okay.
Sure.
You've all met Tylyn John. She is my good friend for many years, but also we had her on for her own day for the Playboy Playmate series, which was awesome, and we found out a lot about her experience. And then at the end, she's telling us she has this big foundation to help animals. So we brought her back on, and that's our topic of the day. So we want to tell everybody what your company is, what you do, and the dynamic duo. Who is the other person that you are doing it with?
Okay, well, I've been single. The duo isn't a duo anymore. It's kind of a single. And whoever my, partner for the day is, it would be the duo. So what happened, how I got into rescue, about 15 years ago, I got a call about 2 Great Pyrenees that were in a local shelter, a very rural, little tiny town, and it was housed behind a veterinarian clinic. And I was like, what? That sounds a little odd, but okay. And I said, well, what's wrong with the dogs? Why would they have been there for so long? And they said, well, they're going to put them to sleep if somebody doesn't go get them. So I have the room and space, and I have goats and sheep and all kinds of birds, swans, ducks, chickens, peacocks, guinea hens, and I have a couple parrots. And so they protect my outside animals we have mountain lion, we have bobcat, we have lots of coyotes, and birds of prey, of course. And they are really good, the birds are watchdogs along with the dogs. And it's interesting to watch the whole farm kind of be in sync with each other. So if a chicken warns about, let's say a hawk that's flying around, it kind of tells the warning signal. Then all the other animals just start, singing. So it's pretty incredible how they all kind of learn to rely on one another. And so anyway, I got off the beaten path, but the Great Pyrenees, I had 2 of them, that guarded my own sheep and everybody. And so I didn't want the Great Pyrenees to get put to sleep. So I go to this rural shelter and I get the dogs and I look at all these other kennels that are full of dogs. And I went back in the office and I said, what do you do with all these dogs? And they said, we hold them for the 72-hour state mandated hold time. And if the owners don't claim them, we euthanize them. And I was absolutely mortified. And I said, how could this be happening? Like, there's some really lovely dogs in here, and they don't deserve to die. So I walked back in the office, and I said, I'm going to help rehome all these dogs. I had no rescue experience, and I didn't even know how I was going to do it. I mean, I prayed the whole way home that I would just get guidance and how I was going to figure out how I could help all these dogs, because I knew nothing about rescue. And so I got on the internet, started contacting all these San Francisco Bay Area dog rescues, which was, it was drivable for me to transport the dogs to San Francisco from where the shelter is. And it was about a 3-hour drive. So I sent pictures of all the dogs out to all the rescues, and I got such an amazing response. Like, oh, yeah, these are very adoptable dogs, and, yeah, if you bring them to us, we'll take them and we'll rehome them. So I used to do the journey once a week all the way to San Francisco, and I would rescue, 30 to 40 dogs every week. And I would take them out of that shelter, and then I would go and transport them and make like 4 or 5 stops along the way, dropping off 5 dogs to this rescue, 5 dogs to that rescue. And I did it every single week. And I learned that the better the pictures I took, that the better off they would get scooped up by the rescues, And so I also would negotiate with the rescue. Okay, well, I have these 5 beautiful dogs, and then there's this one mangy one, but it's really sweet. It just needs extra help. Will you help this one if I bring you these 4 or 5? And they would always do it. So that's how I started helping the less fortunate dogs. I would, sneak them in with a group of highly adoptable fluffies,
Yeah.
So I got
what about
really
the pit bulls?
Hold on, exactly. That's who well, of course, I would sneak in the pit bulls.
But wait, Tylyn, how did you rescue the pit bulls, say, if they were dangerous? I mean, here you are. I don't know whoever you were doing it with at the time, but I mean, they could be dangerous, right? And hard to catch. So how did you deal with that?
Okay, so any breed of dog that's a large breed dog can be dangerous. A German Shepherd, a Rottweiler, a Pit Bull, a Mastiff, any large breed dog or large mixed breed dog, there's, I would say maybe 1% of dogs are, aggressive. But the pit bulls get a bad reputation. Yeah, there's a truly aggressive dog, or a dog that's truly human aggressive. Usually they're not. It's usually, bites we have provoked bites and unprovoked bites. So if a dog is, let's say, cornered and a toddler's poking its eyes and poking its face and it nips the toddler, that's a provoked bite, and it shouldn't be counted against the dog, because you can't expect a dog to tolerate somebody abusing it, and not fight back.
Yeah, because sort of like...
Oh, yeah, but a fluffy one can do that too.
Exactly. Any dog can bite, and so I think a lot of dogs, people don't understand what's truly aggressive behavior, or a lot of dogs have fear-based aggression, and so people just misread the types of aggression on a lot of dogs. But I learned a lot of behavior things from all the dogs I started rescuing, and the large breed dogs, all the dogs, I would take them out, I would test them with other dogs, I would just get a feel for who they were, and then I would send them to each appropriate rescue that was going to be able to help further their rehabilitation. And some dogs, they need a little bit of rehab, and then other dogs need a lot. Each one is individual, but the majority of the shelter dogs are there no fault of their own. They're lovely dogs, and they end up there, like I said, no fault of their own. Maybe their owner's facing hard times. Some people, they'll get a dog and then they'll say, oh, well, I have to move, so I can't keep it anymore. And then they take it to the shelter. An animal needs to be a lifelong commitment for the life of the animal.
Or the person is elderly, and that's their little partner. It's their best friend, and they die. I mean, how sad. They're dying, and they're worrying so much about what's going to happen to their dog. So they must be so thankful for people like you.
Right. I've taken a lot of dogs from situations where owners have killed themselves, or they're elderly and they pass away, or, tragedy strikes. You never know. You have to make sure you have some. Yes.
I wanted to tell you just quickly a little story. When I was 4 years old, my dad was a seaplane pilot, and he saw this dog. It was pure black with oil all over it. It was just filthy and skinny, yes. And it was like a Basenji mix terrier, like a perfect. He saw that dog. He goes, I'll wait a couple of days, and if nobody picks that dog back up, I'm going to take that home. And you know what? Nobody did. And he took that dog home, and we washed it. This dog was the best family dog. I named her Penny because she was the color of a penny. And she, for 18 years, was our beloved best dog. And I'm searching for one just like that. And I bet you have one. You'll come across one of those for me. I mean, we may not have to travel to Puerto Rico for it.
I know. And, I find that the dogs that end up in the shelter and they're in, having a hard time, and I show up and I rescue them, they're forever grateful.
I know.
It's like they know. It's almost like I'm addicted to the feeling of saving an animal's life, It's very addictive
with animals. I bet you have, now that you've watched the pattern of all the birds and the goats and everything, even the chickens, you watch their pattern, and it's kind of like you have maybe a telepathy language with them. Do you think this is true? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Cool.
You know, because when you become more spiritual, I think you're better at reading souls, and the animals have little souls, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. This is amazing what you do. And what year did you start this foundation?
Okay, so I started doing the transport from the rural shelter to the Bay Area in 2012, I believe. And so that's when I think I started my foundation around that time. And now
how wonderful.
I used to do a lot of rescuing in this area, but thank goodness the shelter and, you know, the shelter that I told you that was an hour away from me that I used to take all the animals out of, they had another big rescue come in and be able to take it over because it was so much work every week, you know. And so I just really wanted to get it off the ground and then kind of hand it to somebody else. And so then now I'm focusing on rescuing street dogs in Puerto Rico. There's about 250,000 street dogs on the island. And it's a huge
they're smart,
crisis.
though. Aren't they smart? Because I was just in Mexico over Thanksgiving, and we were going to this village to feed the hungry. It's a charity that I'm a part of, and there were so many dogs. And this guy we were with, he goes, you know what? These Mexican dogs are so smart. Like in America, they'll just run in the road and they'll get hit, but these dogs, they're smart, but they are thin. They are just looking for scraps, and I thought of you, and I thought, wow. And I'm going to go to Puerto Rico with you and do a mission.
You have to come. Seriously.
I will.
I want to say something. You know, one time I was walking, and I saw a dog do something that I never saw a dog do before. It was a poodle. And basically what happened was I was like saying, oh, well, that dog's really nice. Oh, what kind of dog is this dog? It was a poodle. This poodle got up on its hind legs, walked up to me, and hugged me.
Uh-huh.
It was like it was able to do that. And I was like, oh, my God, I don't believe this. You know.
Maybe it felt your good energy, Johnny.
They must have brought the vaccine. Oh, sorry. Yep. I'm getting I thought the vaccines. I had to order some dog vaccines. I'm taking to Puerto Rico, so I heard a truck, and I think they delivered them. But sorry, go on.
Oh, that's okay. You got to do what you got to do. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. But this is just so wonderful that you do this because can you imagine if my dad didn't bring that dog home to us, and it just was such a loving, wonderful dog. It followed us everywhere on our bikes all day long, and we didn't have a leash. I mean, we lived in the country, and it would go around all the neighbors' houses every morning. It did its rounds, and we didn't even know it, and it would visit each neighbor, and they loved our Penny, and they're so smart. Can you imagine if that dog was killed and we wouldn't have had that dog? Just like abortion, just like, you know, I have a half-brother that I just met when I was, 40 years old. She calls. I didn't even know I had him. And I go, are you so glad that my dad didn't, abort you? I mean, really, this is what it is. And he's like, yes, I am. You know, he's a filmmaker now. And can you imagine? Every life is so, yes. Every life. And,
yeah, I agree. But I love doing what I do, and I love making a difference, in dogs' lives.
Tylyn, when do you think that it will be okay to travel and do a mission in Puerto Rico due to the coronavirus? It's so sad. You must be heartbroken that you can't just be free to go do what you want to do to help these animals. How long has this been put on hold for you?
I'm going back in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So I just think you have to take all the precautions. I don't feel unsafe flying. I just wear my mask whole time.
I've had two flying trips. I think sometimes this is the most safe time because they do not fill up the planes. It's their policy to not fill it completely full. They have rules. And I went on a train to Mexico. One person was in the train car with us. Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Because this is the more safe time.
I understand it's a nasty virus. I understand that, and nobody wants to get it. I mean, but you still have to live life, And I traveled back from Puerto Rico in September, and I felt very safe. I mean, people were social distancing in the airport. You wash your hands as much as you possibly can. They hand out hand wipes when you get on the plane. Everybody's in a mask. They have the most incredible HEPA filters on planes, too. So it filters the coronavirus. So I feel safe traveling. It's just as safe as going to the grocery store.
That's what I was thinking. And you know what? A lot of people have underlying conditions. I'm not so sure. I know it's not a secret. You have a condition, and you still go. There's got to be somebody that does it. There's got to be somebody that it can risk, their selves. And I'm sorry, but now I'm in quarantine. I'm not going anywhere. My friends want me to come up to LA from Huntington Beach. And I said, no, I just did a big trip until I get tested. I'm not going to go further and, connect with people until I do that. So, I am doing that. But somebody had to go feed the people. And,
where do you
I was
live
one
now?
of them. I live in Huntington Beach, California.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I'm not that far away from you. We love road trips. Yeah, and I'm so honored, though, that you asked me to help you.
I would love that. I would love nothing more. Bring your daughter. It's a really incredible thing. I've had several friends join me that have never rescued before, but they love animals and they want to help in some way. So they come.
Do we know any of those friends?
No, you don't.
So
none of them are
Susie?
from me. Huh?
Susie hasn't gone?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Let's get her to go, too.
I don't think she will.
Really? Okay.
No, I've been
whoever
her
goes.
several times, and she won't go. So I leave people alone after I invite them a couple times because I don't want to bother people. I figure I just tell them after I, get turned down a couple times, and I just say, okay, I'm not going to bug you anymore, but if you ever want to come visit, let me know. I leave it up to them.
I understand because it doesn't matter because there's hundreds of other people that do want to help.
Yes, exactly. So I would love if you and your daughter came. Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
well, of course. And she's excited to do it as well. And she had a great experience. And after feeding the village, no running water. a little electricity maybe. I mean, we were up there. Yes, we delivered 150 bags of food. And Kurt, who I do it with, Beauty Saving the World, Kurt Clements, you may know him. He's an agent and my best friend. He does this once a month at that village there, and he's been all over, like Israel and all through the Middle East, all through China, all through Asia.
You should tell him to come to Puerto Rico. Do you know that the poverty there is like it would be in Mexico or Russia or anywhere else? It's shocking, the poverty. And
well,
there's
I'm going
a
to
lot
look it
of
up right now. I think he has. Tylyn, I think he has been to Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
So it's sad that we have that problem, and we have it in the Appalachian Mountains too.
Where is the furthest you've been to travel to do your rescue missions?
I would say Puerto Rico is the furthest.
Mm-hmm.
I used to just rescue in Northern California, and then when I went, my husband's Puerto Rican, and he has a lot of family there, and so I would go with him all the time, and every time I would see all these street dogs, and it just devastated me. And so then when I was able and we bought a house there, I said, if I can ever have a house here, and if I'm ever in the position to be able to help these street dogs, I'm going to go full force and help as many as I can. And what they don't do there that I want to do with the street dogs, some of them are friendly. Some of them are dogs that people just tossed out and abandoned somewhere on the island. But some of them were born on the street. They're like feral dogs, like feral cats. So
some people don't know what that means. Tylyn, some people don't know what that means. Tell us.
Okay, sorry. Feral means wild. So the cats that, take off and they're completely wild, that's the same thing that happens to the street dogs. In one generation, they go back to being wild. So a lot of the street dogs are completely wild. You can't touch them. You can't get within, a couple of feet of them. So what I want to do is start a foundation in Puerto Rico where I raise funds to spay and neuter the street dog colonies. So I would catch them in a big, huge dog trap, take them to the vet, get them spayed or neutered, their rabies shot, any flea treatment, and then put them back where they live. Because a lot of people feed the street dogs, but the problem with feeding the street dogs is when the feral, meaning wild, street dogs or cats are fed without being spayed or neutered, the population explodes.
Yes, because they are continuing to just reproduce.
They have plenty of food to nurse their babies, and so people want to help by feeding them, but that's only a small piece of the puzzle, because if you feed them, you're actually causing more suffering.
So they need not vaccines. Yes, they probably need that too, but neutered and spayed. So
yes,
isn't this what your foundation is focusing on?
Yes, that's what we want to focus on. And I wouldn't put them back without spay or neuter and a rabies shot, because rabies is a problem if a dog gets rabies and bites a person. So it's a cheap shot. So why not get it its rabies shot and its parvo distemper shot? Give it a little something, and then just put it back where it is. The people feed them, the restaurants feed them, and just let them live their life. You know they're not going to be contributing. Because you don't know how many times I've rescued puppies from the street dogs. It's just such a sad life.
But they're probably doing something they're eating around the restaurants, they clean up, actually. They're cleaning the area, so they just need to be left alone. But I have a question. Here in America, if a dog has rabies and it bites a person, we go to the hospital. We get whatever we need to take care of that. But in some of these third world countries, they don't have that option. So to them, that could kill them. Am I correct?
Yeah, Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., even though it's a territory. And they do have good doctors. It's just that they don't have a lot of them. So, yeah, resources are less, I think, for
are you nonprofit? Totally
I'm sorry?
Nonprofit, are you? Are you totally nonprofit to where when people donate, it goes straight to take? So how do we donate? Tell us your website, and it's easy. I looked at your website many times. So great.
Aww.
So yes, very well done, and easy to navigate. So it's easy to donate. So tell us how.
Okay, so if you go to Dynamic Duo Dog Rest, wait, is it dog? I forget it's.
Let me look it up right now.
Okay,
you probably have your hands full.
I had one of my friends did it. She picked the name because she had to shorten it or something, and it's Dynamic Duo Dog Rescue, I think, or Dynamic Duo Rescue.
Johnny, ask her a question, and I'll look because I need to press on and typing.
Now,
okay.
I have heard. Is it true that Chihuahuas live longer than other dogs do?
Well, any tiny breed dog can live a lot longer. Like the large breed dogs usually only live 10 to 12 years, and some of them live less than 10 years. Like a Great Dane, I think, is 9 years is average.
Right.
And a Bloodhound
and my dog lives till 18.
Mine, and that's like 7 to 9.
Tylyn, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I'm very sorry to interrupt that, but okay. I was wondering, a mutt, I don't like calling them that, but a mix, which are very, very more cute than purebred. Sometimes I think so. My dog lived till she was 18, and people said, oh, that's because it's not purebred. So they can live longer, right, which is better.
Right. But it's like with humans. You can have, let's say, four kids in the family, and 3 of the kids die early at 40 years old or 50 years old from heart things or whatever, and then the one that's left lives until it's 95 and it doesn't have any issues. And that's just, it's the luck of the genetic pool, I think, is how long your dog's going to live. Because anything can happen. I mean, a dog can get cancer young, just like a baby can get cancer. So there's no guarantee on it, but there's usually a standard on each breed. Like, you know, Frenchies are 10 to 12 years. So there's kind of
do you recommend, since you brought up a dog can get cancer, you never know. Do you recommend people go out and get animal insurance just like, say, me, going and I've found it for like $6 a month. And why not?
Oh, yeah.
Because if your dog gets something $5,000, it's like, okay, it's a dog, and they can't even pay hardly their rent. So then then they have to put it to sleep, and it's so devastating. Whereas if they just take the time to sign up for health insurance for their animal, anything happens.
Actually, my adoption contract states that if you don't have $5,000 savings or that you can put on a credit card for your animal emergency, then you need to get pet insurance. Or if you just want, to go check out pet insurance, I highly recommend it for everybody because it's a good thing to have because not everybody has $5,000 to put up for a bloat surgery or some other, they eat a toy and their intestines get twisted up, or, they're like children. Anything can happen. So we got to take care of we got to think about them and take care of them like they're our children because they depend on us. Are you surprised that so many people do not have animal insurance? Because people tell me about their dogs. Oh, my dog's sick. I'm so sad. Oh my gosh, I have to take him to the vet. And they send pictures. And I'm like, well, do you have insurance? No, I didn't. Yeah. It's going to be $5,000, but it's worth it. And like, okay, great, you have that money, but a lot of people don't. So, in pet insurance, it is very inexpensive. Do you have links? I'm still trying to find the website, but I have these questions. Do you have links on your website? I'm finding that, like, you refer, here's a good pet insurance policy place, link. I don't know who the current ones are right now. There's a few of them. And I would just say go on, do a Google search, and read reviews and read through the policy. See what they cover, and you have to, okay, so if you get pet insurance when the dog's a puppy, then it covers its whole life. And it's usually, it only goes up a little bit, like when the dog hits a certain age. But if you get insurance when your dog's older, it costs, I think, more. Because it's like an old person getting insurance.
Right.
Same
as people.
Yeah, they have more medical issues. So I would just recommend it if you just have 1 or 2 or 3 dogs. I think it's worth it to have it. For sure, if you don't have the money. So
it's very important. But are you surprised that people don't have it?
I don't know. I think some people, they don't plan good enough for any emergencies, or, a lot of people just, I think, live day by day and they don't think about things like that. They don't prepare
You're
themselves.
Not a judgmental person, I've noticed at all.
Why?
Because it's so sweet. You're not saying, yes, I can't believe they're not doing that. I can't believe, how dumb of them. You're not like that. You are so positive.
I try not to judge other people because I think we're all in a different place spiritually, evolutionary, where we evolve at different speeds, and I think, I've tried hard not to judge. I'm not saying I don't ever do it because I fail miserably daily, but I'm conscious of it, and I try not to judge. I try just to help, because I never know what somebody's going through and why they made that choice.
You never know.
Made a bad choice. Life is like a large classroom. We're here to learn our lessons and try to become better people every day that we're here, right? That's hopefully what we're all aspiring to be.
Yeah. So do you, because in the beginning of the show you said that you are spiritual. What are some of the things? And before you answer that, I've noticed that our friends, our peers, women like us in the entertainment field, we're following them. There are a lot of women that are very, big advocates for animals. I've noticed. What is it about you and these others that have such a passion for it? What is that? Because some people have passion for, like, abused children or the
Yes.
elderly or the soldiers. Like, what makes it about the animal with you?
You can't, it's not something you can control. It's something that you're just so driven to do it. Like somebody else takes over your body. You just don't even, it's pretty wild. You just have a drive to do it. Yeah.
Wow. And it's always been
can't
that way
not,
with you?
Yes. I used to be that way. When I was a kid, I used to bring stray animals home all the time. I drove my parents crazy. You know, I'd find them
what did you
walking
bring home?
Oh, kittens, puppies, dogs, you know, anything I would find walking home. I was just always, yeah.
Did you hold snakes? I liked holding gardener snakes.
Oh, yeah. And I love all the different critters. Like, I appreciate nature and each animal's part in, you know, in all of the world. You know, there's some pretty incredible animals.
Oh, yes. Did you know there's a kit? I got it for Priscilla when she was about 4 or 5. And you can order, like, the caterpillar, the cocoon. No, the larva. And it turns into the cocoon. You watch all the stages, and it tells you exactly what to feed it. It comes in a whole package with a beautiful, like, net seal. Cool. And then they go in the cocoon, and you watch it every day. And these little children, they see this life happening. Then it opens up, and they get so excited. And then it's a butterfly. You let it go. Did you know butterflies only live for 2 weeks?
I know. Isn't that sad? That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Yeah.
It's really, so nature, I love it too. But I do notice that there are advocates for animals. And Johnny and I, we put together one time, we closed it down because it was a group on Facebook for animals. And our idea was to go across America and find the best animal rescue in each state and connect all of them. Yes. And people, they weren't doing it. Like, we were trying, right, Johnny? And I'm like, let's take it down. Like, reboot it, like, rethink, have more people on about animals, and then, like, start over. And I said to him, Tylyn John, this is perfect. Let's do a group. Is that a good idea?
Incredible.
Would that help you?
It absolutely helps me because I pray a lot, and I always pray that God sends me new angels and people that could help me help the animals. And, you know, I'm always praying for that. And so it's incredible who God sends in your life when you ask. It
really is.
Shall receive, right?
Since the first interview with you, and we were close back in 1992, in the same year, coming out in Playboy, and then, you know, you move away, you get married. I mean, things happen, and we lost touch. And then having you on all those years later, it was just like no time passed, and then I have chills because it's like, I really do want to go on this mission with you. I mean, I just went to Mexico to do a mission. And it's such a good feeling. Plus, I want a dog. How perfect is that, everybody?
Yes. Well, then you could pick the dog of your dreams, rescue it and give it a better life, and fly it back to the States with you, right?
Yes. And I want to document that whole thing because then it might inspire others to do it.
And when I rescue the dogs, I know people think I'm probably silly, but I always give them Puerto Rican names. And because they're from Puerto Rico, and I don't want them to ever lose a part of where they came from, right? So I name Puerto Rican names, you know, and
that is so sweet.
I know. my, because I love Puerto Rico and I love the people. They're some of the sweetest, warmest people,
Yeah. When they have that
just
gene in them, like the Spanish, the Latin gene, oh my gosh. They were the only ones that I would ever hire to take care of my daughter when she was an infant because I knew I could trust them. They're so nurturing. They're so good.
They're very
I love it. And I have family there in Puerto Rico, too.
You do? That's
Did you know?
So cool.
Yeah. Yes. So I've been wanting to go anyway there.
Yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. Tell us about Puerto Rico and the experience. Maybe we could put together a mission where when we get there, people know, and we have a big group to help us. So
that would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, there's so many ideas. They're just like bouncing in my head about what we could do.
Is your website Dynamic Duo Dog Rescue?
Yes.
I just found it. Okay.
Okay.
I just messaged Johnny I said, please find it. I'm trying to focus on, I have questions. I cannot do it.
Oh, God. I can't
thank you, Johnny.
You gum at the same time anymore.
Me neither. They say you cannot multitask.
I'll walk to a different room like I'm going somewhere, and then I stand there and go, why did I come to this room? And I sit there going, oh, my gosh. I'm getting senile.
Oh, my gosh. I do it all the time, too. So, but you know what? It's a proven fact that you cannot, as a human, actually multitask. Like you think you can do both. No, you're doing both, but it's just taking twice as long. So you cannot do it.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm so excited. And tell us, now we know the name of the website. I'm sorry, what?
You guys got to come to Puerto Rico soon.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'm going back.
Definitely.
I'm going back in 2 weeks. Yeah.
I don't know what that date is exactly, but I will look on my calendar. But we are going to go to Washington State right after Christmas.
I'll be there for a couple months at least.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can come after the first of the year if you want. That's fine. Yeah.
And Kurt, I asked him if Kurt, who is the founder of the Beauty Saving the World, Feed the People, my best friend, I told him about you and what you're doing, and I go, would you like to go to Puerto Rico? I'm going. And he said, I absolutely would love to, and he will go because he travels the world.
Yes. I want him to come. Okay.
Do you think we could do a duo?
More than that.
Thank you. I'm just excited. Do you think we could do a duo where we could feed the people and at the same time rescue the dogs in the village? Perfect.
Yep. I think that's a good plan. Feed the people and the dogs.
Mhm. It's cross promotion and it's helping double a problem.
Yes, I agree.
Hey,
and
dynamic duo.
We need to, help Puerto Rico because they're suffering a lot, and they're trying to make a comeback after the horrible hurricane, and they're working hard. But the island was very damaged, so it takes years. But they're making good progress, and so.
I really didn't know that even before the hurricane that they were having such trouble because they are a part of the United Pricing.
Well, you know what happened? The U.S. sent all the drug manufacturing to China, and they took it. That was basically the majority of their economy. They have big, huge drug manufacturing plants in Puerto Rico. So they had jobs, thousands and thousands of jobs. And they closed up shop in 2008 and sent them to China, and now we're trusting the communist government to control our antibiotics and our medicine. That's insane. No. I don't think that's a good idea. We need to take care of our own, and Puerto Rico needs jobs. So we should have our medicine made there. We should have never taken that and destroyed them like they did.
Oh, I did not know that. People need to educate themselves, including me, about, other countries around us. And people say, oh, do you ever get this? Oh, well, why aren't you just doing it here in America? I mean, you're an American. Why are you going elsewhere? We need you here. Do you ever run across that?
Well, Puerto Rico's part of the U.S., so they can't really say much there. But I do, I got some grief, and I just said, all I can tell you is just because a dog was born in Puerto Rico, that doesn't mean that I should just leave it and it doesn't deserve to be held. I mean, any more than a baby from another country. Like, who wouldn't help a child or a baby or a defenseless, human or pet? So I don't know.
Exactly.
I think that it's just judgmental, and some people are just a-holes. They just judge and they don't know anything about it. And so people just need to, be more kind. Don't go at things with so much judgment because, walk a couple miles in somebody else's shoes. We never know, what that
You never know.
So
they could have that day lost a loved one. You never know. Right. They could have that day had their house burned down.
You don't know what somebody's struggling with. Yeah. So I just
That's right.
We need to just get back to being a little more compassionate and kind to one another. I'm not saying, just blindly trust. I'm just saying, just try not to judge so much.
Okay, let's get exactly. Well, very well said, and the best attitude to have, and very refreshing and wonderful to hear. So I want to get to your website. Okay, Dynamic Duo Dog Rescue.org or .com?
.org.
.org, yes. Organization,
yes,
of course.
I am a nonprofit, a 501c3 nonprofit. Fully,
very important.
You can write off 100% of your donations. I have a, EIN number, tax ID number. I'm legit.
And
you can even look up my nonprofit online. It even says that I'm current and all that.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm more asking about how it works as far as when they go to your website. Do you have a donation program, or can it be $1 or $2 or $3 a month? Is it automatic? How is that set up? Because, hey, how many people, if they just sent you $3 a month, and so many did, thousands and thousands, that would help so much. You have like that. How is yours set up?
I don't have that because usually people just will, when I do fundraisers online, like my birthday fundraiser, and I don't pay for any staff or anything like that. I'm 100% volunteer run. Nobody gets a salary. So 100% of every dollar is spent on the dog. So
and volunteer. And where do you get the food? I'm sure you have to bring supplies like food, for dog food. Are there people that sponsor and give you?
Okay, what's sad is a lot of times I buy dog food. And I have a local place that donates food, but it's not enough to feed all the dogs. So I buy dog food a lot And, sometimes I get donations, sometimes I don't.
So it comes out a lot of your own pocket, which is so, wow, that's so generous and kind of you. But hey, people, donate. Go to her website and find out how to do it. Support Tylyn John.
I'll ask for donations, and I tell people, even if you're not wealthy, I understand you can't do a lot, but if every person even did $5, and that's why I shut down my personal page, and now I just want to do a rescue page, because it's like, okay, I have 5,000 friends, and if half of those did $5, I'd be, really well at being able to fund whatever I needed to do. So it kind of sucks sometimes not having a bigger budget. Yeah, but
that traffic
I'm always
from all your fans, your Playboy fans, all that traffic. I mean, I looked you up. You are everywhere. You are so popular. That traffic you can send to this rescue group on Facebook and all the social media and turn that in. Hey, okay, you give $5, I'll give you a, little card with my picture and a signature, like a little card.
And you know what? People wouldn't even bother. I mean, it's ridiculous. Whenever you ask for $5, it's like everybody clams up and it's crickets. And you're like, oh, brother.
Gosh, that's ridiculous. There's got to be a way.
But I just said, okay, well, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, well, we're going to work on it. And I think that in today's time, it's all about the numbers, okay? It's all about social media. And if we go do a mission and document the whole thing and live on all of the social platforms, that is when you find the people. Our friends, okay, yeah, well, okay, I already have her picture, but other people do, no, global.
We need a reality show.
Well, I have my own TV channel. I haven't launched it yet. Right, Johnny? Tell her about it.
Yep, that's right. I'm going to make her a TV channel of her own, and I want Barbara to have this and be an individual. So she's totally in control over it. She's in control over what she puts in it. Yeah, so we already have one. I made one, but the reason I'm making one for Barbara is because I want Barbara to be able to express herself as an individual, and because if she can do that, it'll make it easier for her to work as a team as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It's like somebody says to you, it's okay. Well, as an individual, like for example, there are some things that I think Barbara wants to do, not necessarily with me, even though I wouldn't mind helping her out. But it's what? Okay, bad
no,
way
there's
to
certain
describe
shows
it.
that you want to do that I don't want to on my own channel. Not that they're bad, they're just not my theme.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that people are different. They're just some people are different, and it's okay. And I think what I'm trying to say is that I want to help her kind of be different, so that be herself, so that when it comes time for me to say, okay, hey Barbara, can you help me out with something, she can say, well, you know what, he's helped me be an individual. Okay, I'll be a team player. Okay, that'll be good.
Oh.
Why do I still hear laughter?
I already am a team player though. Oh yes,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I say the
it's
wrong
called.
thing
sometimes. I can announce the name. Tylyn, do you want to know the name of my TV channel? I have not announced it yet.
You have not?
No.
Let's wait until
Why not?
we will announce it.
Because I haven't launched it yet. Maybe I should just wait, Johnny, because I'm writing it. I am forming it. I want to have shows set up and scheduled. I don't want to launch it and it sits there and there's like we transfer a podcast over.
Plus,
no.
You're gonna be
maybe I won't.
I
won't announce
when
it
you
on
make
air.
a channel, when you just make a channel, not to cut you off, when you first make a channel, you experience a boom. Because what happens is Roku, they put you in the news setting, which means that you get that advertisement in addition to the regular advertisement. So I think it's important that we have content rating. Or,
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Tylyn, I know it's 6:00 and our hour is coming to a close, but can you hang on for another 5 minutes?
Oh, yeah. I got all night, girlfriend. I could talk about dogs for hours.
Okay, I want to talk about how I want my show. How I would like it is to, continue the Playboy Playmate series. And, of course, it's fun to find out how did you become a Playboy Playmate. Everybody loves telling their story. But then you're the first person, this is our other idea, to have them back on and discuss the topic of what they're doing right now. And then everybody intertwines and connects all of the entrepreneurial women who are doing their own company, doing their own foundation, or whatever they're doing, acting, and maybe they're in a play. I want all those to intertwine. And then I think that could be so helpful to us. That's really, and that's the Playboy part. But then I love scientists. I want to talk about, I'm neutral. I'm always neutral as a host. Okay, a scientist. Tell us about the vaccine that is coming for coronavirus. Okay, have another one that, was talking about the other side of it, the good, the bad. I want to educate people, and I am so into that. And I have a book club. I am starting with Carrie Stevens, Playboy Playmate. She wrote a book. She's quite proud of it. I have it. I bought it. And then other friends I've heard say, oh, well, I called Carrie and I didn't get my free book. I'm like, why would you? Support her. You're her friend. Buy it.
Come on. You can't buy a $2 frickin' book. That's what I'm talking about. Just why wouldn't you want to support your friend by buying that book? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
That should be what we should all be doing. But like I said, you ask them, or you think, oh, yeah, people will buy my book just to support me, and like you said, to be an entrepreneurial person. And so I don't know what's wrong with people. They think you should give them, a free book or a free dog or, whatever. It's like, no.
Right.
You should...
Oh, right. I didn't think of that. So people actually ask you for can I have a dog? Oh, God.
Yeah, they have
after all your hard work.
Oh, you have to actually pay for them? I thought I was rescuing them. You're like,
oh, my God.
And, the thing, a lot of times people don't understand about rescue groups, we don't get grants, and we don't get, like the county shelters get taxpayer dollars, and that's why they can offer, $175 adoption fee, to where a private rescue, they may get a little bit of discount with their veterinarian, but maybe 20%. It's not a lot. So they're not getting everything free like people think. And
not only that, all your time. All your time
exactly.
you put into it.
Yeah, but people
and we're getting it for only, I got my cat I went to the rescue place, $125. They already have a chip.
Yeah,
they're fixed, and
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, because I always tell people if they complain, about the adoption fee. I go, okay, why don't you do me a favor? Call your local veterinarian, ask them how much a spay or neuter will be, how much the pain medicine and if they need antibiotics will be, how much the shots will be. You know, get that, and I guarantee you it's more than the adoption fee. And then they go, oh, I didn't know that. It's like, what are you, living under a rock? You know how expensive vet care is?
So expensive.
It's very expensive, you know, so.
It really is. So that is what I want to do on my TV channel, which it's up to me. As soon as I launch it, there it is. And you're going to be one of the first guests.
I can't wait. That's going to be so exciting.
We could have 75 people on at a time because I do it through the platform Blue Jeans, just like Zoom, but we choose Blue. What was that, Johnny?
I'm letting her use my Blue Jeans. So.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. So, do you like if you come to Puerto Rico? Will you then video? Are you like the camera guy?
I'm sort of. I mean, what it is I Blue Jeans is like Zoom that has better customer service. I mean, I really believe that if I'm going to, you know, because like we're trying to do something, we can literally get a person, you know, on literally chatting with us via video. And about
no, we'll get somebody, Johnny. It's okay, Johnny. We'll get somebody to do that. Johnny cannot do that kind of traveling with his.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yes. But he can help with all the technical stuff. I mean, he might be able to go on a trip, but But okay, so that's that. But it's all about volunteers. I have a cousin. Oh my gosh, vibrant, gorgeous young man who married a Puerto Rican woman. Well, they had beautiful twins. Yes, and they got a divorce. So to be around his twins, he has to live in Puerto Rico, but he loves it. Then his mom moved out, which is my aunt. She married a Puerto Rican guy there, totally in love. This is my family unit, 13 twins, 13-year-old. My daughter is 13. They want me to come. So, oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, where do they live on the island?
I will ask. I'm going to write that down to ask them exactly where. She's on Facebook too. And all I know is when I look at their pictures, it's, aqua, blue ocean, and white sandy beaches.
Beautiful. And you know what? What I think is so incredibly special is you'll be at let's say a place and they'll have dancing or something, and these old couples get up and start dancing. I mean, it's so cute because they love to dance, and I just think it's so. I love it too. They're just really lovely. You'll love the people there.
And that's why your husband is so good, and that's why you love him so much. And I'm so glad too, after all these years, hear about you having him. Wow.
Yes. Yeah,
and all his family's over there, like his parents.
No, he's got uncles over there and aunts and cousins, but his mom and dad live in the States, so
okay. Well, I mean, that is cool.
We still have quite a bit of family there, and it's
so we could
fun.
Get all of them.
Yeah, you'll get to meet everybody.
Help.
Yeah,
so these are going to be the volunteers and the two families that we have there. The volunteers, then they get the word out, and those volunteers come, and we just do it boom, boom, boom. We have it organized. Yeah. We got, the assembly line of we need these packages. You're doing this, you're doing that. We are wearing our masks, and we have see. Okay. Does everybody speak English there?
There's usually people, no matter where you're at, that speak English. Usually the younger crowd, most of them know English. Some of the older people may not, but they learn it in school, so they may not be comfortable speaking it. But yeah, I don't have difficulty, and my husband speaks Spanish, so.
Okay, so then we have one person that is our person who is interpreting, and they go out and tell, okay, we need more volunteers. We're meeting, so we have to have that person, and but that's that person, because if your husband, maybe he's doing other things, so he can't just be the interpreter for the whole mission. So I really would love to help organize this mission.
Okay.
But I don't want it to be the first one I launch on my channel, because I might come in a month, and I'm going to launch the channel probably in a couple of weeks. So, but I'll have you on, and we'll discuss it prior, and then,
Yeah, I don't have to be the first.
Okay. Well, this sure has been wonderful, Tylyn, and thank you for coming on again.
Yes, and I can't wait till we rescue street dogs in Puerto Rico. Yay!
Oh, me too. I know it's going to be my dream dog. Okay, so everybody, we're talking with Tylyn John. She is an advocate. She has a foundation that rescues dogs. And if you would like to help, please do go to dynamicduodogrescue.org and donate today and tomorrow and help, because we're on a mission and we want you to join us. So you could hear this show, if you came on late, on our Life, Laughter, Happiness YouTube channel and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And also follow Tylyn John on Instagram and Facebook. Find out more. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. And thank you, Tylyn, for coming on. And thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you,
night,
Barbara.
Tylyn.
Love you guys.
Good night, Barbara.
You're welcome. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye.